Hey there, Jim and Cindy here from OUTAPocket. Today we're here in Souderton, Pennsylvania to do a deep dive on the newly restyled 2026 Solis Pocket 36A.
Why Souderton, you may ask? Because that's the home of Fretz RV, and they have graciously allowed us to take a tour of a 2026 Solis Pocket that they have on the lot. Kudos to Fretz because they know we're going to give our honest opinion on the 2026 Pocket.
As you may know, in the middle of the 2026 model year, Winnebago released what they called a restyled version of the Pocket. A lot of cosmetic changes, also some new features. I've been dying to go through this van and take a look at these new things and figure out where did they hit it out of the park or where did they miss.
In this video, we're going to take you through the 2026 Pocket, inside, outside. We're going to do a cost comparison of what it would cost you to implement some of these new features out of your own Pocket. And ultimately, we should have a good opinion on whether or not you should hold out for the 2026 or buy a 2025 that's out there right now.
This is a video you asked for, but to be honest, it's a video I wanted to do as well.
Can't wait.
Let's
do it.
So here we are with Mary from Fretz RV on kind of a cold morning, but thank you so much for having us down. It's great to meet you here and to be able to take a look at the van. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Fretz and what makes you guys special?
Sure thing. So, Fretz RV, we've been here in the community for 80 years this year, so we're really excited about that. We are fourth generation of ownership. We are also employee owned, which is wonderful. That just came along last year.
Oh, great.
So the Fretz family is great, and they treat us great. And here at Fretz, when you're buying from Fretz, you're not just buying an RV, we're creating a relationship with you. So we have a full service department. We have great salespeople. A lot of our salespeople have been in this kind of business for a long time, and we have a great team of salespeople here. Our service department is great. They'll take really good care of you. And we have a full line of parts. So we have a store where you can buy things and just order parts from us too if you need anything for your RV needs ever. We love, our customers. We love building the relationships with our customers. We sell throughout the whole country. People come to us from everywhere. And we have events. We're having our open house in April. Always, every April, we have an open house and for like 5 days, and people just come in and
Awesome.
They enjoy it. It's a big community event. We do special Christmas events. We do puppy meet and greets here. We're having a flea market and swap meet. So we have a lot of fun here at Fretz too.
Great. Now, I know you have this Solis Pocket in stock. I know you have a 2027 on order.
Yeah.
They've been around since 2021. What type of customer feedback have you had on this particular van?
The first one I sold, I remember, I had this young family coming in. They were having a baby, and they thought this Pocket would be perfect. And they're imagining where they're going to put the baby on the little dinette, in this little Pocket A. So it was perfect for them, and that experience sticks with me as the first Solis Pocket I sold. I've been
Awesome.
here for a few years, for almost 5 years now. So that was a great experience. So those are the kind of experiences that stick with you as a salesperson throughout the years, but also, just about the Solis itself and how excited people are about that
Right.
product.
Seems like people, once they have one, they really do fall in love with them.
Yep.
And fall in love with the van.
Exactly.
Now, right now, I understand on 26 and older new Pockets, there's an incentive going on from Winnebago.
Correct.
Can you tell us a
yeah.
little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So we're on the Solis Pocket. They're offering a $5,000 rebate. So ours, the MSRP on this one's $143,000. We have it online for $103,000. But you can save another $5,000 on that. So you could be at like $98,000 and change on this Solis.
Yeah, that's huge.
Or the other part of the equation is they're also offering a couple other things. So if you don't go with the $5,000, you can get a special finance rate, like 4.9% for qualified customers for 20 years. So that's a great other option. Or you could defer your payments for 90 days. So they have like 3 different things that are available right now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
really a great incentive
It
for people
is.
to act through the end of April?
Yep, through the end of April.
2026?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
all
and
right.
get this for under $100,000. That would be great.
Okay, so I know you sell to people around the country, so
Yep.
hopefully this will reach a wide audience, people that might be interested in this van.
Exactly. That sounds
Anything else
great.
you want to share before we dig into it?
No, I really appreciate you guys coming out. Like, we love Winnebago. We've been a Winnebago dealer since the beginning. So we've been with Winnebago for a long time. And again, we do sell throughout the country. So if this is the one you want and you're in California, come on out and you can drive it home. All right.
Well, thank you so much, Mary.
Thank you.
Appreciate it again, and we'll dig in and take a look.
Excellent. Thanks. Have a great day.
Thanks. Looking at the front of this 2026 Solis Pocket, you'll see there's some new styling here on the front end, you know, some subtle changes. You also have this chrome piece now on this version of the van. And I've looked at these headlights closely because I was a little bit confused about this. These look like they are LED headlights now. That is a huge upgrade. That's one of the biggest complaints about the older Pockets and ProMaster vans is those halogen headlights. They just aren't bright enough. So that is a great upgrade on this van.
And first I got to do the new decals on the side of the Pocket. It looks great. It's a bit of an aesthetic upgrade, but if you're a debadger, that's a lot to take off just to think about. And since I'm back here already, I'm going to talk about one of the major changes that they made, which is installing an external water input port. If you go to different campgrounds and such and you hook up to their facilities, this is a great feature to be able to input the water at the same time you're hooking up to the utilities. Not something that's easy to put in yourself later, so I'd say that's a big win for people who go to campgrounds. And a safety feature that we've noticed here on the electrical, they've got a way to indicate whether or not power coming in is safe. It ground, line, neutral. If it's coming in and it's properly grounded, you're fine. It will tell you if it's not. And you might want to check out, we had this problem. We had a faulty cord that was wired backwards, and this would have picked up that problem. Finally, they have installed as standard a driver's side step. You know, we put one in on our van because not all of us are super tall. So now, standard, you can just step right on up. Great idea.
Now we're to the back of the van, and I want to talk about one of the biggest things that's included now with the Solis Pocket, and that's the onboard generator. This is a 2800 watt underneath generator that's permanently mounted. It runs off gasoline, so it's connected to the fuel tank for virtually unlimited runtime as long as you can keep fuel in the tank. This sits under there, and the exhaust comes out. They've added an exhaust port here. This generator is a big deal for people that get this Solis Pocket because it allows you to turn on that generator and get air conditioning and to have all of the 120 volt outlets live in the van, whether you're plugged into shore power or not. This generator really solves one of the big limitations of the previous version of the Solis Pocket, and that's having access to that extra power. The one downside is this generator mounts where the spare tire could go. Many people put a spare tire on the back of the van. If that works for you, you know, the generator is a good solution. For us, we have a narrow garage space. We wouldn't really want to take that space up with the generator. For us, it works better to put the spare tire there. The other major power change is the solar panel on top. In the older models of the Pocket, it's a 170 watt solar panel. They've now upgraded that to 190 watts. So it gives you a little more input power to recharge those batteries when you're in the sun.
And now to move inside. They've made some changes to this table that folds out. Ooh, nice. It's got a magnet that holds it up instead of the clips, which is a lot easier to bring down. And this cloth strap brings it down rather than the metal, which sometimes cause damage on this inside panel. The materials that they're making it out of, obviously a new color scheme going on, a lot lighter, darker, the contrast, and it seems pretty durable. A nice higher quality, I think, finish on this. Moving on to the floor, they have upgraded the floor to be a lighter, brighter look. It looks an awful lot like the rugs that we put in from Inhabit Design Works. The difference here is it doesn't feel like it's insulated, so that's still going to be a little bit cold, but overall a huge improvement. Much lighter, much brighter, much more like a van that somebody is going place to place and living out of. Checking out the front cab, they kept the darker, more industrial looking design on the floor inside up here. Might be something that people prefer for daily commuting. You don't need the carpet, and it definitely shows you the difference between the front cab and the back living space.
One thing you immediately notice is all the cabinets are definitely a new color, but it also feels maybe a little bit of a higher quality wood that they're using, which is nice. When you open the cabinet, whoa, they're spring loaded now, so that you don't have the magnet. This automatically holds it open. There used to be a magnet up here on the ceiling, and it also gives it a little bit of a softer open close. This one does kind of bump into the air conditioner. There used to be a magnet here that the cabinet would go into, but I think these spring-loaded brackets are a nice change. Maybe they take a little space on the side, but I think this is a much nicer design.
Right away when you sit at the dinette, you notice a couple of things. One, the new upholstery. It's a nice color. I like the contrast between the light and the dark, and the material itself seems really kind of durable and won't grab onto every stray piece of lint that goes by. One other thing you do also notice is that there are no cup holders, which to me is kind of a strike against. We use those a lot, even if, just to put things into. And the reason that there are no cup holders is because they've changed this back surface to being a flip up to get to storage instead of the, oh, look, it doesn't really hold up all by itself.
Really?
That's a downside. Historically, there was in the previous pockets, 2 doors right in the front where you could put things in, open it up and put it in. And it had a much wider opening so you could put bigger things in it. This is pretty narrow. It's part of the access area is taken up by by this board itself. So it's kind of narrow and deep. For me, that's not a big selling point.
With this new flooring, it's nice that they still have these L tracks exposed. That was one downside to us adding the third-party mats, is that it covered these up, which was a little inconvenient because we do a lot with bikes. The other thing I want to check in this new van is in the power panel. There's a new ventilation here, I guess, to help keep that cool. With the generator, I assume there is a power transfer switch now in here, which was always an option on this type of panel. But I did want to see if they put the converter on its own circuit breaker, and they didn't. So that's too bad. It's a $2 part. Should have been an easy fix.
Initially from the pictures, I was really worried about the bed because when you see the promotional materials, you see it looking like this with words all over the bed. And I'm a reader. If I'm coming into a place and there's words, I'm reading them. I can't even imagine having to read this over and over again every time I enter this pocket. Fortunately, as you probably saw, when it's folded up, you can have the non-words showing outward, which is a great savings to my sanity. And when it's down, it seems as though this new mattress that they put in has kind of a memory foam surface that should be really comfortable to sleep on. So I'm impressed with that. And check out these new curtains on the side, these insulated curtains, and they're made out of a much nicer material than the former ones, are going to help to keep the warm in during the winter and the warm out during the summer, conserving a lot of your energy, which is wonderful. It's a lighter material and the surround is, which is really has a great impact on brightening up this whole area. And I like how it zips up as opposed to tucking in, which is always kind of annoying. They always kind of fell in. So I'd say this was a big win.
This panel is where the new generator control is. It looks like you have your start-stop switch now next to the water pump switch. And this looks like it's the generator runtime to track how long your generator has been in use. I'd heard that there could be a rain sensor now on the Max Air vent. I've taken a look through this. I don't see it, so I don't think there's really been any change in the Max Air vent. Another change we did notice is the front window shades. Ours are pretty stiff in our pocket. Sometimes when you put them in, it's a little tough to, these appear to be a softer style now. They don't seem to come in a storage pouch, just these Velcro straps. But I think this softer style would be easier to manage and put in and out. The other thing I've noticed here is this carbon monoxide detector seems to be maybe a more modern model than we have, but it's also mounted a lot better than the one we have. You may remember in our van, this and the smoke detector always fall off, and I had to use some double-sided VHB tape to keep them on. But they appear to have solved that. These appear to be mounted now very sturdily.
I checked out the VIN number on this 2026 Solis Pocket to find out what model year the chassis is, because as you know, it doesn't always match the model year of the Pocket itself. by checking the 10th digit of the 17-digit serial number, VIN number, I determined that this was a 2025 chassis, which means if you want to hold out for a 2026 chassis, you will get a 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty that comes with the 2026, not the 2025. There's a variety of really great new features, however, on either one of these. The 2025 has some great stuff, including adaptive cruise control, lane assist, crosswind, and a whole bunch of other fun stuff.
Wow, there are really a lot of things I like about the new 2026 Pocket, from the upgraded kind of finished materials, the new features they've added to the generator, really some really important things that address what I felt were some of the weaknesses in the older models.
And the stylistic choices that they made brightened up the interior. They're impactful. They really do make a difference in the Pocket. The question now is, what do the financials look like?
That is a great question. I did a little bit of research right now. The 2025 models, new, you can get for around $95,000. The 2026 models like this are around $103,000, which is also the price of this one. And the 2027s, the very couple that are listed, are up around $116,000. There's also that incentive right now, which brings the 2025 down to around $90,000, the 2026 to around $98,000, an $8,000 price premium to get this van. Now, what we did was take a look at all of the key upgrades. If you were to add them yourself to 2025, how much would that cost?
Exactly.
The generator, upgraded floor mats, the driver's side step. If you take that package of key upgrades that were made to this van and you want to do it yourself, it's going to cost you about $7,000, not including you may have to pay or do the installation yourself. So the upgrades are approximately worth the same as the price premium.
And somebody else installs them for you.
Which is nice.
So that means that it's within the realm. So would we say to go with the 2026 or 2025? That's a nuanced kind of two-part answer. If having 120 volt power natively available to you through the generator when you're boondocking is important to you, if having water access port on the side, if you're going to a lot of RV parks and you like to plug into that, is important to you, then yes, the 2026 is going to be an important, impactful upgrade, and you should consider that.
If those really aren't that important to you, if you're not a big air conditioning user, if you don't really care about 120 volt power, RV parks are not your thing, then honestly, the 2025 is a really good value, and you can add the other upgrades to the van yourself. So if that's your situation, I say grab the 2025 while you have this incentive and make the other changes yourself. So Mary, thank you so much for having us down here today. I must say both of us were really impressed with the great improvements they've made in the van. It seems like they really listened to the customer and addressed some of what we felt were some of the biggest limitations of the earlier models. I do have one question for you though. If somebody wants this van, are you the one to call?
I am. Call Mary Stevens at Fretz RV. I'm more than happy to help you out and develop a relationship, not just an RV sale. So we're looking forward to helping you out at Fretz RV with Winnebago and other products too.
Thank you so much, Mary. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for joining us today, and until then, we'll see you next time.